This is a Heart and Hand production.
Hello everyone, my name's David Edgar, I'm the host of Heart and Hand Rangers podcast, and I'm joining you tonight after Rangers lost 2-1 to Viktoria Plzen in the Czech Republic, but went through to the playoff round of the Champions League qualifiers with a 4-2 aggregate victory. And the job was of course done mainly at Ibrox last week, but I think if you were looking for any signs that this team is getting closer to resembling what Russell Martin wants it to look like, we didn't get it tonight. That was not a good performance. Rangers were, again, lethargic, constantly playing backwards when forward passes were on. The passing was really poor. If you want to be a passing side, you've got to pass better than Rangers did. And the defending was very ropey. Jack Butland had a number of excellent saves in the second half. And after Rangers had got a goal and actually looked favourites to go on and win the game, we just sat back and allowed Plzen to come at us, get a second. They didn't get a third, and Rangers saw the game out. But there's so many weak areas in the side. The left-hand side of the defence doesn't work at all. Jefte is a poor defender. It really is that simple. And if there's talk about a bid for him, then I think we should take that money and replace him. John Souttar doesn't look comfortable there either. And again, passing out of defence, getting us in bother. One in the second half led to an absolutely world-class save from Jack Butland, and it's something that we've seen before. We don't look after the ball well enough for a side that wants to be a possession team. And you saw that tonight. And we don't create enough. Luckily, we've been taking in Europe the chances when they've come along, but we've seen domestically that we haven't been able to create. And I'm sorry if this sounds a bit downbeat, genuinely, because I am happy that we're through, clearly, but I was kind of hoping we'd begin to see something, and I think that we're all as supporters waiting for that spark. Tonight I didn't really see it. The manager made two changes. He brought Nico Raskin into the side for Joe Rothwell, and he brought James Tavernier in for Max Aarons. And the start of the game was kind of what you would expect. Rangers were holding the opposition off, doing enough, I think, in the opening 20 minutes. Not creating a lot, but not allowing a lot to come at us either. As the half went on, though, I thought that Plzen came more into it. And again, Rangers players, when they receive the ball in the middle of the park, they seem so conditioned to turn back the way straight away. It's constant. And Lyle Cameron was making so many great runs. You saw him getting frustrated in the first half because nobody looks up and plays him in. It was the same with the wingers. And the goal that we did lose in the first half, 5 minutes before half-time, was poor from Jefte, and we've seen it again. He dives into a situation he doesn't need to be in, is now out of position. As he's running back, he falls over, leaving the boy clear by the touchline to pull it back, and it's a tap-in, essentially, for the striker. And suddenly we're in a game we didn't need to be. The start of the second half was awful. I mean, do we give our team an Ovaltine and a Valium at half-time? Because in the opening 5 minutes, they had 5 or 6 chances and we were on the ropes a little bit. But eventually, thankfully, we got a goal, and it was substitute Danilo who was involved in it after coming on for Cyril Dessers. He looked as though he might have picked up a serious knee injury. But Rangers did finally get a good move. Danilo mishits the shot, but there's Lyle Cameron arriving in the box. And I mentioned on here before, I like Lyle Cameron because I think he does have that ability to get into the box late, to time his arrival and to be there. There was a shout for offside, but when you saw it along the line, the linesman was spot on because one of their defenders was slow coming out. And Rangers then got into a few breaks, but we didn't take advantage of them, picked the wrong option. The wingers, Antman and Gassama, were very guilty of that. And then we had a 10-minute spell where the defending was junior level. And as I say, the aforementioned chance that Butland saved after Souttar's bad pass, but then balls were coming out of the box. There were plenty of Rangers players there, but we just weren't getting involved, and shot after shot were coming in. One went just over the bar, one went just wide. And eventually the pressure did tell when a cross came in from the right-hand side, and Joe Rothwell, I think, has not picked up his man. And Jefte hasn't come round and covering either, but the two centre-backs aren't exactly doing themselves much favours either, and it's a free header and the boy bullets at home. I will say that in the last 10 minutes, because there was 7 minutes injury time, Rangers brought on Nedum Bajrami, and he really helped to just settle us down, get on the ball, keep the ball, and actually took us forward 20 yards, and we were playing in their half for the first time in the whole game. But a very big win. You know, two excellent European results to get through against Pan and to get through against Plzen. We now go into the next round where it'll be a challenge. And at the time of recording, I'm not sure who we play, but they're both good sides. They'll be hot favourites, and I don't think they'll be particularly worried after what they witness when they see these games back. But I think that the money is excellent. We're guaranteed the Europa League, but we've got to improve. And even someone like me who probably does tend towards the Panglossian and tends to be a bit over-optimistic at times, I need some evidence to see this is working. I know Russell Martin was saying at the weekend, oh, well, it'll come. There's always a bit of short-term pain for long-term gain, and that's brilliant in theory, but we need to see something. These performances are so flat and dispiriting, and some of the times you're just getting so frustrated, which wasn't helped tonight by the coverage. Solid Sport did the coverage, and I think that they're called that because their picture is just one large block. Anyone who paid, get onto them. You deserve a refund for that one. And I had that, and I had it on RTV as well, thanks to a quick flight abroad I took, and the RTV coverage was much better. So if you paid for that, get your cash back. But we're through, but the questions that have been talked about this week I don't think got answered tonight. I think we desperately need a left back, a left-sided centre-back, a striker who holds the ball up consistently, and I think we need to look at the midfield balance. For me, it doesn't work, but what do I know? Anyway, thanks for joining me. I'll be back here at the weekend when we take on Alloa in the Cup. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.